Unique sign of autism, number 1, neologisms. So what the hell is a neologism? A neologism is a brand new made-up word that's never existed before. And some of you might be thinking that the word neologism is a brand new made-up word that's never existed before, but I promise that it is real. I'm not just making this one up. But quite often, a lot of people on the spectrum will create brand new made-up words, and this is especially common in children. So for example, a kid might be like, "Mum, give me the snuggle fluff." What is the snuggle fluff? Who knows? Obviously, parents, as they're around their kid more and more, will kind of pick up and eventually learn through context what their kid is trying to communicate. But obviously, if a person is generating new and made up words to replace existing words, it can create a lot of communication difficulties. And there's a few interesting reasons as to why neologisms pop up quite often with autistic individuals, particularly with kids. So the first is kind of a more literal, functional way of understanding and mapping names to objects. So for example, the blanket is called the snuggle fluff because you snuggle it and it's fluffy. Or you might want to eat some cereal, so you'll say, "Mum, give me the crunchies," because it's crunchy when you eat it. And another reason why this might pop up as well is the language impairments that often come along with autism. So if an individual has difficulty retrieving words that they have learned, they might just make up new ones to fill in the gaps. And so because a lot of autistic individuals, especially early in life, have this kind of big gap in perspective taking ability, and this big gap in understanding of theory of mind, which is the understanding that other people don't know the things you know, other people aren't thinking the things that you're thinking. If an autistic kid comes up with a new word for a thing, they're just going to assume that the person understands what they're saying. And so while it can make sense as to why particularly autistic kids will come up with these brand new word creations and use them and generate them, they do inevitably tend to create communication challenges. And this becomes more and more apparent the more the kid spends time with people who aren't their immediate family. And then eventually for most kids with autism, either they will learn through experience that people just aren't understanding them, or people will kind of directly point it out, or they'll receive like quite harsh negative feedback, things like bullying for being, like, "Oh, why are you making up weird words? Why are you being strange?" Right? Like kids will just be kind of harsh. And so for a whole variety of reasons, as a kid grows up, they'll just use neologisms less and less and less. They want to obviously be understood by people when they're communicating, and so neologisms don't help with that. They don't want to stand out. They don't want to get bullied, so neologisms will tend to fall off because of that. And also just the general vocabulary will just obviously expand, and their understanding of perspective taking and theory of mind will get better as they get older too. So they will know that other people don't know the words that are in their head. So if they generate a new word for something, they will kind of know that, like, okay, just because I know what this is, they probably don't, so I need to use the more common word to refer to this thing.